Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now today, man, we're gonna be talking about Niger. Now we have a Canadian mining company, a Canadian uranium company by the name of GoVX. And I know we've been talking about the French multi-billion-dollar multinational Uranium that is going bankrupt ever since they lost their operating license in Niger. But another uranium company that also lost their operating license around that same exact time is a company by the name of GoVX. Now, I didn't make any videos about GoVX because I was so focused on Uranium, because Uranium is a company owned by the French government. So I was so happy to see a French multi-billion-dollar multinational get destroyed in front of my eyes. But GoVX lost their operating license around that same exact time. And now GoVX is talking about they're taking the military government in Niger to court, right? They want to go to international court, right? They want to sue. They want to bring a lawsuit against the government in Niger because they lost their operating license. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the video today. We're going to be talking about GoVX trying to bring the brothers down to court. Now, let's get into it. Let's refresh your memory. Let's go back, a few months back when they first lost their operating license back over the summertime back in July. Take a look up on the screen. Canada's GoVX stripped of Niger mining rights. The Canadian miner GoVX Uranium said it has been stripped of its rights to develop a uranium project in Niger just weeks after the West African country revoked a mining permit held by the French firm Uranium. GoVX has been informed by Niger's mines ministry that it no longer holds the rights over the perimeter of the Mandwela mining permit, which is now in the public domain. I repeat, which is now in the public domain. I repeat, which is now in the public domain, the company said in a statement released on Thursday. Now, before we dive into it, I want to remind you, this channel runs on your support. If you find value in the content, then I encourage you to contribute and help us keep delivering these in-depth videos. Support the channel in the description box. Also, this past weekend, I dropped 4 exclusive private videos. The first one entitled Anti-Blackness in the Arab World. The second one entitled Corrupt Cop Kills Himself After Decades of Terrorizing the Black Community. The third one entitled Famous Reformed Divestor Tries to Lecture Black Men. The fourth one entitled Should Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger be worried about France celebrating the fall of Syria? To gain access to these exclusive videos, go in the description box and send a contribution of $20 to the Cash App or the PayPal. Now let's continue. The company said it reserves the right to challenge the decision to withdraw the mining rights before the competent national or international jurisdictions. Ha! My goodness. The radioactive metal uranium is the most widely used fuel for nuclear energy. It is also used in treating cancer, for naval propulsion, and in nuclear weapons. The setback for GoVX comes as it was in the process of raising about $200 million through debt financing to fund the Mandwela project. Now, basically, from what I can gather, I guess the basis of this lawsuit is the fact that they were in the process of trying to attract investors to, invest into the project up to $200 million. And now they were pretty much assed out holding the bag because while they were in the process of trying to gather foreign investment, the military government in Niger swooped in and revoked their operating license. So now they have nothing to present to the investors, right? They have no project to present. They can't really tell them about the enormous profits they can make because you don't even have access. You don't even have a license anymore. So now if they did have any investors on hand who are interested in the project, I'm pretty sure by now they've already backed out. They've already backed out because they realize you don't even got a license anymore. So what are we even talking about? Now let's continue. Now, this article came out the other day. Take a look up on the screen. GoVX initiates arbitration against Niger in the uranium permit dispute, right? So essentially, they're trying to take the brothers down to court, right? They're trying to take them to court, right? The same thing Orena was talking about, we are going to defend our rights. Now let's continue. GoVX Uranium is initiating arbitration proceedings with the ICSID convention against the Republic of Niger. How you suing a country, bruh? We suing the Republic of Niger, my God, for revoking its mining permit for the Mandwela project, blocking the development of one of the world's largest uranium projects. Back in July, Niger's military leaders, which came into power in 2023, announced the decision, while the Niger Council of Ministers also issued 3 decrees withdrawing the mining permit and abrogating the decrees granting the permit. This, according to GoVX, has triggered the arbitration clause in the mining convention signed in 2007 between the company and the past regime, which it says is governed by Nigerian law, and that the revocation of the mine permit constitutes a breach of the state's obligations under both the mining and civil codes. While the company had attempted to settle its dispute with the state amicably, including through initiating a local administrative recourse before the Niger president, the state has showed no willingness to engage and reach an amicable settlement. So basically, they tried to sit down and negotiate, and the brothers down in Niger was like, yeah, I hear you, bruh. I hear you, but I'm still going to take that permit back. I hear what you're saying, $200 million in financing. I know you was looking forward to the project. I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear what you're saying, but I'm still taking my shit back though. And then now they're talking about, okay, now we're going to go to the international authorities. Ha! Anyways, first of all, they talking about they signed an agreement with the past regime, right? Back in 2007. Bro, it's 2024, bro. What do you mean you signed an agreement with the past regime from 2007? First of all, we got to find out who was the president back in 2007, bro? Who was the head of state back then who signed that bullshit agreement? The president of Niger back in 2007 was the gentleman by the name of Mamadou Tanja, right? He was president from 1999 to 2010, right? Now, here's the thing. Take a look up on the screen. Niger's former president, President Mamadou Tanja, died at age 82, right? So they talking about we signed an agreement with a dead man, 20 years ago. But meanwhile, this guy died like 4 years ago. This guy died, 2020, back during COVID. Like, what do you mean? We signed an agreement with a dead man 20 years ago. Bro, please get out of my office. If I was the president of Niger, get out of my office, bro. You talking nonsense. You talking hot garbage right now. Listen, here's the thing, and this is why, this is the trick bag when it comes to these so-called democratic governments, right, or democratic leadership, right? They love, promoting these guys as democratic leaderships who are open to Western investment, right? Because they sign these agreements, right? A guy is only going to be in office for a few years. He's going to be a president for 4, 5, 6 years, maybe 8 years, right? But then they got these guys signing agreements for like 30, 40, 50 years, bro. Like 50 years, like the French company Uranium. The president that got overthrown, Mohamed Bazoum, who got overthrown last year, he signed an agreement with the French government to give them access for the next like 50 years. Keep in mind, the guy's only going to be president for like not even 10 years, but you signed an agreement for 30 years, 50 years, 100 years. That don't make no goddamn sense. And of course, you already know they're getting kickbacks off the deal, right? So they're probably getting, 10 million, 30 million in their personal bank accounts overseas, right? Meanwhile, they signing the country away for the next 50 years. And keep in mind, Mohamed Bazoum, this guy right here up on the screen, he's still under arrest. Like they still got him locked up. Like the military government in Niger has still not released him, right? He's been locked up for like damn near like a year and a half now, and I believe that he's currently going to be put on trial for treason. I don't think the trial has begun, but yeah, he's currently on house arrest awaiting trial for treason. And I believe in Niger, the price of treason is death, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's a good chance that, this guy might not even be here much longer. Take a look at this headline from last summer. Ousted President Bazoum to be charged with high treason, according to the military government, right? That article came out back in August of last year, 2023, a year and a half ago, right? So he's currently under arrest. He's currently in custody, still under surveillance, awaiting trial for treason. So, like I said, we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, man, if you sign the country away for 50 years, bro, I mean, goddamn, bro, that's treason, bro. That's treason. You signing 50-year agreements with our colonial enemies. High treason, bro. High treason, man. High treason to the highest degree. But anyways, back to GoVX, trying to talk about, oh yeah, we signed an agreement, back in 2007. First of all, you got to understand, governments change, regimes change, the priorities of governments change, right? So at the end of the day, the regime back in 2007 might have felt one way, but it's a new day in the modern day. The current administration in charge, we don't agree. We don't abide by those doctrines. We don't agree with what was said on those documents back in 2007. So due to the fact that Niger is a sovereign nation, they have the right to wake up at any given day and tear up the agreement, to revoke the agreement, to terminate the agreement. That's what sovereign nations have the power to do, right? And you trying to tell me that you signed an agreement with a dead man back in 2007, it means nothing to me, because let's say I'm General Chiani. I'm the black man in charge right now. I'm alive, and I said the agreement is terminated. I don't care what you signed with a dead man. We talking about sovereignty here, bro. We talking about sovereignty. We talking about uranium. We talking about uranium that powers nuclear energy, that is for nuclear defense and electricity and power. We're talking about, one of the most prized possessions that so many governments around the world are coveting. So yes, we are well within our rights to take our shit back. And then GoVX got the nerve to talk about, well, we tried to resolve the problem amicably. Listen, I guarantee if I look over those documents, if I look over the agreements and the negotiation splits, I guarantee that this was not a fair document. This was not something that was beneficial to the citizens of Niger, right? So if it was not beneficial, they are well within their rights to tear up the document and throw it in the garbage can. Anyways, let's continue. The uranium developer also said that the company, alongside its Nigerian subsidiary, is entitled to be reinstated in its rights to the Mandela project and be awarded monetary compensation. Oh my God, these dudes asking for reparations. These guys asking for reparations, bro. Oh my God. If I was the leader of Niger, you definitely not getting the mining permit back just for disrespecting me to this degree. Just for disrespecting me and demanding compensation. Now you're most definitely not getting the permit back. You can kiss that permit goodbye. Even if I was even thinking about negotiating, now I'm definitely not even going to open negotiations now. You've destroyed any chance you had talking about I need monetary compensation for my loss in profits. Bro, how dare you? How dare you, bro? Let's continue. Entitled to be reinstated in its rights to the Mandela project and be awarded monetary compensation as a result of the state's conduct in relation to the project. Shares of GoviX traded flat on Monday at 6 cents apiece for a market capitalization of 41 million Canadian dollars. The stock had dropped to a 52-week low of 5 cents earlier this year following the announcement of the permit withdrawal. Man, them boys out here destroying companies, man. Them boys out here destroying multinationals, man. Destroyed Uranium, destroyed Resolute Mining, destroyed GoviX, man. We on the rampage, man. We on a rampage, man. The black man on a rampage. Let's continue. GoviX said that the withdrawal of their rights to the project would have a negative impact on the economic and social development of the region, as it was forecasted to create up to 800 jobs over its projected mine life, with substantial royalty payments and taxes payable to the state. Now, GoviX is trying to use some deceptive language by saying that, we would have brought 800 jobs. You see, you've lost this 800 jobs that we would have brought to the country. We would have brought so much benefits to the country. We would have gave you 800 jobs. Now, keep in mind, let's do the math, right? The population of Niger is currently 27 million people, right? We have 27 million blacks, right? So they're saying that we would have benefited so much because 800 blacks would have got a job over a period of 19 years, right? They said a project would have been like, 19, 20 years, 30 years. So over this time period, 800 blacks would have got a job. So we're losing out on so much because 800 blacks can no longer get a job working for GoviX. My God. Now, keep in mind, these are not some, high-level prestigious positions. Oh, man, we're going to give you, executive positions. No, we're talking about some low-level, labor grunt work, right? We're talking about guys hauling, sweating in the heat, digging dirt. We're not talking about anybody, living comfortably, living lavish, living in the air conditioning. No, we're talking about some guys literally in the heat around radioactive material. And they talking about, man, we losing so much because we lost 800 jobs. My God, these dudes have no respect. These dudes have, man. Listen, if y'all boys listening to the sound of my voice, don't give them a damn thing. Don't negotiate a damn thing because they got no respect for the black man, bro. And then they got the nerve to talk about, oh, you're missing out on potential royalty payments, paid to the state. But we already know those royalty payments are only a fraction. It's only a drop in the bucket compared to the billions of dollars they're projected to make in profits, right? So you're going to go off and make your billions and billions and hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. And then you're going to come back and break off a fraction of a fraction of a fraction in royalty payments. We don't even know what bullshit agreement you signed back in 2007 with the dead man back then. So listen. That agreement is null and void. That agreement is no longer legitimate. That agreement is invalid. They talk about 800 jobs and royalty payments. Meanwhile, what are you getting? You're getting the uranium that's going to power your cities, strengthen your militaries, and build your future. And what are we getting? We getting a few jobs and we getting some royalties. Man, listen, man. Get out of here, bro. I'm tired of hearing this nonsense from these Western corporations and these foreign investors talking about economic development and bringing jobs to the nation. Meanwhile, all you're doing is leaving a bunch of radioactive waste all over the country, right? All you're doing is giving us some low-level jobs and some fraction of their profits and royalty statements, bro. It is not an even exchange. This is robbery. And you're talking about an agreement you signed with a dead man. That man is dead. Whatever he signed is no longer valid. He is dead. So stop trying to make it seem like you're doing charity or if this is some type of even exchange. It is not. It is not. And whatever you sign with a past regime, guess what? Today is a new day. It's a new regime, baby. So, it's time to come back to the table and renegotiate. Matter of fact, ain't no renegotiation because we already took the permit back. You don't got no goddamn permit, man. And even if you try to go to court, you have no leg to stand on in court because a new government, like I said, a new government has the right to review and revoke any agreement that is no longer in the national interest. That is in your right as a sovereign nation. Just like Donald Trump could come to power in January and he could revoke whatever Joe Biden did that he does not agree with. He could just simply revoke it. If he doesn't think it's beneficial to the national interest, he could just throw it in the garbage can because he has the right to do that as a sovereign leader. And here's the thing. What international court are you going to go to? Because international courts, they tend to side with the nation, right? They tend to defer to the state's decision. So whatever Niger decided they wanted to do, most likely the court, whatever international court you're talking about, is going to rule in their favor. Because they, as a sovereign nation, they have the right to do that. They're not going to side with you as a multinational. right? There's legal precedents already on the books to show that. Listen, they're gonna side with the government. They're gonna side with the nation as the sovereign nation, bro. You have no leg to stand on. Take the loss, go back home, regroup and come back, bounce back at another, go to another country, bro. Go to Kazakhstan. Matter of fact, doesn't Canada have uranium? I believe Canada has uranium. So why don't you just focus on the uranium in Canada? Oh, I understand. It's because the black man has one of the largest, most massive uranium deposits on the planet Earth. Yeah, you want access to the black man's uranium because we got a never-ending abundant supply. But it is what it is, bro. It belongs to us. Listen, you have uranium in Canada, right? Whatever God you believe in, God bless you with your own uranium. Focus on your uranium, right? We got our own uranium. Let us do us. You do you. All right. Let us do us. You do you. You came all the way from Canada. I don't know how the hell you even came over here. You came all the way from Canada, ended up in Niger. Are you lost, bro? How'd you get over here? Go back to Canada, mine your own uranium, focus on your own people. We gonna do us, you do you. Anyway, man, it's your boy Fakari Salim, back in the Billy, yes indeed. Cash app in the description. Support the channel, man. Support the album. Peace.
Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders, you know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we on. She said that she ready to come be my wife, yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word and it's bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I'm eating no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news. Back in my city, they loving me. Standing alone, I'm 100 deep. Enemy plotting and still in reach. They try to make sure that we underneath. Trying to make sure that we never make it. Coming for power, come get acquainted. Coming for everything that I wanted. Feeling like Drake, but I really wrote it. Feeling like Kendrick, I'm checking names. Gotta roll up while I go insane. Got so much stress, I been gated weight. Stuffing these racks in this Louis case. One thing for certain, I'm about to check. Keep it 100 and nothing less. Stick with the family since day one. Had to stay down till my day come. Had to stay down, but I'm never patient. Hop on the mic and I'm motivated. Hop on the mic and I drop a classic. Haters can't see me, they copping glasses. Back in the studio making magic. Got a new tape and it's in production. Back on my business, I got a budget. Staying low key when I'm out in public. Feel like I'm 75. Know that your team be full of them traders, you know that can never be mine. I'm grabbing a thought when I drive. I'm back in my zone and we on. She said that she ready to come be my wife, yeah, hoping I don't do her wrong. I gave her my word and it's bond. I'm whipping the best like a lamb. I'm eating no chicken and lamb. Accustomed to call me the man. I never be up on the gram. I'm keeping that way undercover. She want me to tell her I love her. I told her I'm breaking the rules. I told her we making the news.